I don't know if it makes sense to anybody, but it makes sense to me. So my perspective is, I just gave you the secret to life. Your perspective might be, he's so full of, you know what, it ain't even funny. What he's saying means nothing. There's people on here that will say, hey, that's great insight. And then there's people say, that's foolishness. What are you talking about? You're an idiot. That tells you there's all kinds of levels of understanding. Do you hear me? They're not there yet. And so even what I just said, you learn from this person that you really miss. I just said something that you learn from a person that you really miss, okay? They're not there yet. That didn't come from me. Come from somebody that you really wished you could have really interacted with for a long time. Anyway, and it's like, that's whether his soul ties are real or not. I think the Bible might support it in a way, because of Jonathan was friend. They were like brothers, you know. They were not, you know. It's like a familiar spirit, but family wise, not in a bad way. But it was like things that you say, that other person or that situation. You quit a job. Let's say you work at a job for a long time and you go to another job that's similar, but we did it this way over there. And so you're like, you miss the old way of doing things, and people will say stuff that will catapult you to the next level. And then when you're no longer around them, the pain is so bad that you have to purge yourself for 21 days. And when those, you know, a lot of times when you're around some people long enough, you start to talk the same, think the same, act the same. So let's say it's family. It depends on how deep the relationship was. It might take 21 days and it might be done in 4 days, you know. But I just said something that person that wasn't originating from me. They're not there yet. Calm down. It's like, okay. So that'll always be there. Who said that to me? Just like when your grandmother or your dad or somebody said something. Because of what she said, they're not there yet. She set me free. This had to be real. Well, when somebody dies, where'd they go? It had to be real. It might have just been a season in your life that this was needed. Maybe like I said, maybe they were real, but maybe it wasn't God's plan, you know? So you have to say, you might have believed the lie that it was God's plan. They might be real, you might be real, but it might not have been God's plan. So you just have to do the 21-day purge and wait and be honest with yourself and say, okay. And then it might be that the way the relationship was, you thought it would be, might just need to be this way. It might not have anything to do with being in the same house, the same city, the same goal or whatever. You might not ever see them, and you might have to use the 21 days to change your perspective. Hey, that was my sister. Praise God. We knew each other for a season, and it is what it is. I'm telling you some deep stuff, but most people will say, what you're saying we're not even making sense. All right, whatever. It's for whoever needs it. And where did that come from? A lot of things you say because you've talked to somebody so much. This is for whoever needs it. That didn't originate from me. They're not there yet. That didn't originate from me. So some of the things that you say might be from this other person, and they're entangled and enmeshed in your soul, in your psyche, in your mind, even in your words. And it might take 21 days to purge it. It might take 210 days sometimes. But you've got to live in reality, people. Something could change. It was this way, and now it's this way, and maybe it needs to change to where it's this way, further apart. Who knows? But the secret is, as you go through the purge and you want the best for that person, whoever it is, you want all men to be saved. You want all women to be saved. You want all people to be saved. You want everybody to be healthy, wealthy, and wise. And when you get to that, it was worth it to move you to the fact that you can love your enemy, you can love your neighbor, you can step back and say, okay, they're just running on a program. They probably had good motives. They might have had good motives, but they just dealing with something else that God is going to have to fix, I don't know who that's going to help, but it might not help anybody. I might get one view, but whatever it is what it is, people.